School segregation. An Atlanta mother claiming children are being assigned to classes based solely on race at Mari Lyn Elementary in Atlanta. And now she's filing a civil rights complaint with the U.S. Department of Education.
It's you can't do it. It's against the law.
That law is the Civil Rights Act of 1964, saying you cannot treat a group of people differently based on their race, which is what Kila Posey says happened when she tried to enroll her daughter into a second grade class at an Atlanta public school.
We've lost sleep trying to figure out, like, why would a person do this?
Kila Posey says she was stunned when she learned about classes segregated by race at Mari Lyn Elementary last year, a practice she says was put in place and condoned by Principal Sharyn Briscoe.
Segregation isn't over. Did the 1964 Civil Rights Act actually end segregation in all instances? We're finding out that it is not. That's what I'll be talking about today on Chat with Me, Linda B. All right, warriors, you know what to do. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, select all notifications, stick around to the end. Let's go. All right, we have segregation that looks like it's trying to happen in modern times. I am going to share some information with you, and I've talked about safe spaces at universities. I have a clip that it is from about 4 or 5 years ago, but that is still very recent when you're talking about segregating children in an elementary school called Mari Lyn Elementary in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, you saw the clip at the beginning of the video. This is being pushed by a Black principal. The name of that Black principal at the time, and she's still the principal of that elementary school, is Sharyn Briscoe. She is still the elementary school principal of Mari Lyn Elementary in Atlanta, Georgia. So you saw this parent, okay, Kila Posey. She was like, what are you talking about? I thought this is against the law. It is against the law. But I am telling you, these demon rats are trying to bring it back. Now, I gotta say it. That's a Black woman. 92% of Black women, yes, people who look like me, voted for Kamala Harris, a Democrat. Black women are the most loyal to the Democrat Party more than any other group. So more than likely that woman is a Democrat. Okay. And she thought that was a good idea. Who told her to do that? Did she just come up with it on her own? Be mindful of what they're trying to throw us back in. They're trying to make us go backwards. It is not the MAGA side. It is the Democrat side.
First, it was just disbelief that I was having this conversation in 2020 with a person that looks just like me, a Black woman. It's segregating classrooms. You cannot segregate classrooms. You can't do it.
Posey says she found out the school was putting Black students in 2 separate classes with 2 separate teachers. The white kids were placed in 6 classes with 6 different teachers. The parent says she found this out when she let Briscoe know she wanted her child placed in the classroom of a teacher she thought would be a good fit. Posey says the principal said that wouldn't work.
She said that that's not one of the Black classes. And I immediately said, what does that mean? I was confused. I asked for more clarification. I was like, we have those in the school? And she proceeded to say that, yes, I have decided that I'm going to place all of the Black students in 2 classes.
What gets me is that she put the Black students in 2 classes. And you put the white students, they had 6 different teachers. So they had a better, according to this and what it sounds like, I don't know how many Black students, but it's Atlanta, so I'm assuming a lot of Black students. Seems to me like there's a better teacher-student ratio with the white students because they were in 6 classes instead of 2. Okay, that is just bothersome on its face right there. What is this one? See, I'm telling you, these demon rats, these people that have sold out. She works, in my opinion. I just get this feeling. I'm not, and I'm going to say allegedly, I'm not, there's no proof of what I'm saying right now. But I know that Democrats, the ones that work for that party that are Black, whether they're a politician or not, she's not a politician, this principal, she's an educator. Okay, but Someone has her doing this, in my opinion. Okay, it's just an opinion. Someone has her doing this. I don't think she came up with it on her own. She may have come up with it on her own. That's what she's going to say. That's what she said. So I guess we'll go with that. She came up with this on her own. But this is very divisive and Jim Crow-like. Okay, this is all this is. This is throwing us back. We had segregated schools before in our nation's history. And then she wants to do it here in the year at the time. I think this was 2020. She wants to do that again. Now they have safe spaces. Let me just give you guys a little bit of information before I go back to this particular story. There are a number of universities right now, a number of them, and I'm going to share them with you. All right, so I looked this up and it was easy to find. These are predominantly white institutions, PWIs, with Black cultural centers and safe spaces. We have University of Washington, Stanford University, Cornell University, University of California at Berkeley, American University, University of Idaho, University of Chicago, Princeton University, University of Maryland. Okay. And it says many predominantly white universities have established Black cultural centers and dedicated affinity spaces to support their Black student populations. They're going to label it a way that does not seem like they're trying to throw you back into segregation, but that is exactly what this is, in my opinion.
A year since the first conversations with the school about the separated classes, Posey has 17 years experience in education, and her husband is the school psychologist at Mari Lyn with 23 years experience. She says she tried to make things right directly with the school, then with APS administrators who, in a phone recording by Posey, says the principal does separate Black children.
Says she insisted her child be placed in a class with white students. She says Briscoe explained her child would be isolated.
And I explained to her she shouldn't be isolated or punished because I'm unwilling to go along with your illegal and unethical practice.
The Poseys recorded a call with an assistant principal where they complained about the segregated classes. The administrator confirmed it was the principal's decision and seemed to offer an explanation why the classes were set up this way.
We have more Black kids too, and then some of them are in a class because of the services that they need.
Posey and her husband have subsequently filed a civil rights complaint with the U.S. Department of Education and say real change needs to happen at the school.
We want to make sure that this practice is not going on. That's first and foremost. The second thing that we want to make sure that administrative team, they need to scrap it and start over.
So I can't believe this actually happened. I just found this out when I saw this clip. I'm like, what? This is so backwards. And they always on the left, they say progressive, right? This is not progressive. This is going backwards. This is going back to a time that we want to forget, we want to heal from, but that they still want to throw us into this Jim Crow stuff. I've told you this before on this channel. This is Jim Crow 2.0. Yes, another Jim Crow. I guess I can call it another type of Jim Crow, but this is educational Jim Crow. This is segregation of the schools. This was only a few short years ago, 2020, 2021. So are we to believe that this is not something that is on their radar to try and do? Because when you divide up a group of people and they're not united, they're easier to control. And I've looked up communism. Yes, I've looked up communism, and that is a very common way of pushing in. Communism is dividing up the masses some sort of way. And in America, since we are not a monolithic society ethnically, you can do it by ethnicity, which is wrong. I am totally against any kind of segregation. I am against it. I am against it. I'm against it. And this Sharyn Briscoe she is the current, according to what I found, is the current elementary school principal of Mari Lyn Elementary School. And she's been in the education system a very long time. And this is the idea she comes up with. Do I think that she came up with this on her own? I guess it's possible, but I don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
Kila Posey has filed this discrimination complaint with the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights. Her attorney, Sharyn Shields, says what's going on at Mari Lyn is a violation of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 say that you cannot treat one group of people differently based upon race, and that is what is going on at Mari Lyn.
So this lawsuit actually ended up concluding recently, and it turns out Atlanta Public Schools had to pay this mother $500,000 due to this discrimination. $500,000 because they were caught dead to rights doing segregation.
So you know how this ended up happening, how this turned out, is that the Atlanta public school system ended up paying this mother, Kila Posey, $500,000 because they were caught red-handed. This is a violation of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. That is against the law. This is what we're dealing with when you talk about these people on the left, and they will use a Black person for their evil deeds, and that person will get paid a substantial amount of money. I still say she was probably put up to this. I'm talking about the principal. That's against the law. This was just a few years ago. I thought it would be of interest to you all. I'm not reporting this as something new, just in case you weren't aware that things like this go on. And I read you the universities and colleges that have these Black affinity safe spaces at these PWIs. I really want you all to understand how serious of a problem this is. I'm going to let you listen to a video, and this is regarding the state of North Carolina.
About opening the largest LGBTQIA MNOP center in the UNC system. But by the way, they are the #1, Nashville's the #2 school that is getting millions of dollars from taxpayers because they do not have enough students to fill their seats. So maybe they should stick to that. But I would also like to point out that one of their most preeminent, oh, by the way, thank you, Majority Leader Jones, for putting up UNC Chapel Hill, put this right up after this, spends $222,650 a year in salaries for the UNC LGBTQ Center. Is that fair? No, because they don't have a straight center. I mean,
No,
what are they doing? You know,
listen, this segregation by label is really getting on my damn nerves. I mean, from Washington State having Black dorms only to this stuff, I don't like this, what we're doing in America. And in North Carolina, we shouldn't even be doing it. It's against our Constitution.
It's against the law to do it here. So I like to hear that. I don't think we should segregate it.
Okay, because, you know, the Black students got to feel some type of way that they're being, I don't know. Maybe they feel like they're doing a good thing, but there are some Black only dorms at these schools. That is segregation. And somebody needs to get my video to President Trump. That is segregation by ethnicity, and they're trying to sell it to you as something good, because what they've done is they brainwashed these kids into thinking that white people hate them and they need to be around their own. They'll say, well, white kids can come along, but you still got a Black only dorm. You're missing the point. That should not even be. We shouldn't be indoctrinating people to think that everybody hates them because they're Black. That is so diabolical, and there is a reason for it. Everything's done for a reason. Things just don't just come up out of the blue. There's a reason. There's an absolute reason, and I think the reason is disgusting. Personally, I'm glad the mother got something out of this, because that was just wrong. And they need to check up on these elementary schools, high schools, colleges, universities, wherever, to make sure that this kind of thing is not implemented. They're trying to bring back Jim Crow. That's what they're doing. And I am just so disgusted. I am so disgusted. I had to present this to you all because I just feel like this is just one of the most horrendous things I have ever heard of. And yet the left wants to call themselves progressive. Like, we're moving forward. No, you're moving backwards. You evil A squareds. But I just want to share that with you all. Remember, I'll be here tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time doing a live show. There will be no live show on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, October 1st. Be back, or try to be back on October 2nd. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the black all notification bell. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on, warriors.